Howdy do. There you are. It's Sunday, and you know what that means? It means yes, it means me again for about an hour. Sorry about that, folks. Quickly, if you're watching this live, could you please give this a thumbs up? Because I noticed there were a lot more viewers than there were thumbs up. I mean, that might be just because you don't like it. That's fine. But remember, every like is a like for Elvis. So if you could give the old thumbs up there. And we're targeting, of course, 300 again, 300 likes. And pat yourself on the back because last week we did it. So well done you. Thanks very much. Sherry, hi Sherry. There's a quick thing I want to just run past you actually before we get into the show. I saw that Wet Blanket is in the building and people were replying to her, but I couldn't see her messages, which is kind of strange because I haven't done anything with Wet Blanket. I haven't removed her or anything like that. Why would I? But people are seeing her comments, but I'm not seeing them. I'm just seeing people's replies. And it's actually the same when I'm on Brent's channel, Elvis Nation. I can see people replying to Vincenzo's messages, but I can't see Vincenzo's messages. So Vincenzo and Wet Blanket, if you can just check to see that you haven't got me on some sort of block or silence or something on YouTube. It's kind of funny, but I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely not. I'm not. You could be saying something to me on Vincenzo. You could be saying something to me on Brent's channel, and you're thinking I'm ignoring you, and I'm not ignoring you because I can't see your comments. And it's the same with Wet Blanket. Wet Blanket could be saying something to me, but I can't see her comments on here. I can only see people. Oh, hang on. I can see Wet Blanket now with a double T. It says, I'll check, Steve. Right. So I always thought you were wet with one T. So great. That solved that mystery. But again, it says, Vincenzo, no, Steve, everyone is seeing my messages. Yes, everybody on Elvis Nation is seeing your messages, but I'm not. All I'm seeing is people replying to you. So it's kind of strange. I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to run that by you just in case Vincenzo and Wet Blanket thought I was ignoring them. Now, I have an announcement to make. This is the last show from this channel. I'm leaving you. I'm sorry to have to break that to you, but that is the way it is. To coin a phrase, Elvis, that's the way it is. Yes, I'm leaving you, folks. Carolina loves Elvis says for 1 week only. Yes, correct. Yes, I wouldn't do that to you. I'm going on vacation, so there will be no show next week on the 27th. So Hugh McKenna says, bye, Steve. Thanks a lot. Sandra P says, Steve is leaving the building, ? I knew you were only kidding, says Britt. Yes, correct. So Gracie G says, you scared me. Yeah, no, it's only a vacation. So if you want to just mark it in your diary that you've got a free Sunday next week. Okay. And Vincenzo says, have a good vacation, Steve. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm off to sunny Tenerife with the family and I can't wait. So somebody says a double dose tonight, Steve. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea, would it? So plenty ahead. I've got a brand new feature actually this week. I promised you I would do a brand new feature, and this is it. Maggie McGregor says, crikey, my first live chat, and you say that. I hope it's somewhere cool. No, it's not somewhere cool actually. I think it's going to be quite hot in Tenerife. So yeah, brand new feature and a live poll, of course, and a song I wish Elvis had recorded. Who is it this week? I think it might be somebody. Yes, it is somebody else. I'll come to that, but it's not me anyway. Photoshop of the week. caption this photo. Funny photograph this week it was. Smoking hot photo. Oh, yes. This day in Elvis history, if you wanted to know what Elvis was doing, if this is a red letter day for you, if this is your birthday or anniversary or anything like that, and you wondered what Elvis was doing on this day down through the years, a topic. Yes, the topic. And the topic will be tied in. No, not the topic will be tied in with the topic is actually, yes, the topic is, it is the anniversary of Elvis's death. It was August the 16th. I deliberately held off doing anything because people like Brent and Michelle, Elvis Lass, and Elvis A to Z, if you want to call it that, I call it Z, can do a far, far better job than I could ever do with paying tribute to Elvis Presley and on the anniversary of his death. So I deliberately held off doing anything until this week, this Sunday. And basically what it is, it will be messages that fans have left Elvis on the anniversary of his death. And so that's coming up later on. And the poll will be to do with reinventing Elvis. Yes, that's right. And there it is. It started streaming on August the 15th on Paramount Plus. And I will be interested to hear your feedback on it if you've seen it. So that will be the poll as well. So we'll get to that a little bit later. Now, as always, I'd like to thank you very, very much for all the kind messages and people that have bought me coffee and donated to the show via PayPal or Buy Me a Coffee. As you see above me, you can find the link in the description box below, or you can scan the QR code, or you can just you can donate through PayPal if you wish. If you use PayPal or you think it might be more secure, but Buy Me a Coffee is secure as well. So yes, we have. I think I've covered it all so far. What I wanted to say. Hope I didn't scare you too much by saying that this is the last show. It's only the last show until what would it be? Let's see. If I'm missing the 27th, it'll be the 3rd of September. And on the 3rd of September, I will be announcing the Elvis Fan of the Year. Yes, and there's a big prize as well. I think I've decided on the prize, and it's another item of wear. It will probably be the Elvis in Concert tour jacket that we see the boys wearing, the red one, because last year Helen Murray won the Speedway jacket. So I thought, why not? Oh, there's Streamlabs, and everybody's saying, hi, Streamlabs. Streamlabs, behave, please. This is my last show for 2 weeks, so please behave. Right, my mate sent me a download reinventing Elvis, and I don't have Paramount. It is okay to post the download link here. Yeah, I suppose it is. It might not accept it though. That's the only thing. I don't know. Give it a try. Let's have a look. That will be a nice prize, says Maxine. Yeah. Now, Maxine, thanks very much, is in the building. She's going to help moderate, and also Dave, Arkansas Dave, is going to help me moderate. Steve, you should give away the box set Elvis the Final Curtain. Ordered it and never received it. Right? Yeah. No, I don't know. I'm not sure now whether that's even available anymore. I thought it sort of ceased to be available quite a while ago, actually, Vincenzo. So I probably wouldn't be able to. If I'm lucky enough to win, I'll donate to someone else since I already have it. Fair enough. Okay. Right. So, did anybody see Chris in the chat as well? Because Chris is normally helping me out as well with moderation on the quiz. But anyway, I digress. It is general knowledge. It's Elvis general knowledge this week. So there's a couple of backwards Elvis by the look. There's some mystery co-stars, jumpsuits. Dylan, that'll please you. Right, here we go. The first one is, I get to use it. As well, I have a new jingle for the person that gets the first correct answer. Thanks very much. It's not the clacker one though. I'm going to use the clacker one maybe in a few weeks' time if I can find it, or somebody can send it in for me. The clacker. You watch my clacker. So yeah, that's something for you to look forward to. A new jingle. So the first two questions are backwards Elvis, Elvis backwards. As all you regulars know. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, all new people watching this for the first time, you're very, very welcome. If you can click the thumbs up, I'd be very, very happy. And also, if you can click the subscribe button as well and click the bell so that you get notifications. But you're very welcome if this is your first time. So here we go. Yeah, as I say, the regulars will know that I play a short clip of an Elvis song for you to name. But it's not as simple as that because I've actually reversed it. So it's singing backwards. And this is the first one. So what do you think that one was? Oh, by the way, Jack's not in the building tonight because he's got a gig. So he told me that he wouldn't be joining us tonight. Oh, Anula, what now, my love? It's actually Any Way You Want Me. And as Maxine quite rightly says, it looks like it was Dylan. So Dylan is going to be the recipient of the... Priscilla L says, not a Scooby. Not a Scooby-Doo, not a Scooby-Clue. Yeah. Tim Lee got it according to Arkansas Dave. But I saw Dylan Bowe in there, actually. So, yeah. And a lot of people are saying congratulations to Dylan. So I'm going to give it to Dylan. And although I will just check just to make sure, because Dave is saying a different person. Okay, so here we go. A lot of people got it, actually. I'm seeing Dylan Bowen, Timothy Lee after Debbie H that said Charo. So it's definitely Dylan. Yeah, and Dylan, the jingle is...
Honey, I wouldn't come out there again for love nor money, I'll tell you.
1970, Elvis, That's the Way It Is, just after he'd done the audience walkthrough and he was sat on a stool ready to do, as far as I know, he was going to do the Little Sister and Get Back medley, and he says,
honey, I wouldn't come out there again for love nor money, I'll tell you.
Because a young lady had shouted, Elvis, come out here again. And he says,
honey, I wouldn't come out there again for love nor money, I'll tell you.
For love nor money. Okay, Dylan. So that's what you've got to contend with tonight. All right. I mean, you've normally got Jack coming at you from one side and Dylan coming at you from another, and Norset 45 and and Brent says he loves the jingle. Yeah. As I said, somebody actually sent that in. I think it was Elvis TCB Forever. I think Forever TCB. Thanks for using my jingle. You're very welcome. Yeah, thanks for sending it in. And if anybody wants to send in a jingle like that, as I say, it does kind of have to have just voice, because if it's got music or anything behind it, then it kind of gets blocked as far as I know. Right. So, hi Daniel. It's €7 a month in Canada. That must be for Paramount Plus, is it? So here we go. Backwards Elvis number 2.
Yes, I knew it. Until I do.
Dylan says, help me. And I'm not sure whether that's he's saying help me as in that's the song, or he needs help. Oh, this is interesting. A lot of people are saying help me. Sounds like a funeral home. Playing for keeps. Oh, now. Somebody has got it. Yes. It's quite an obscure record, actually. Yeah. Yeah. Elvis Nation. Brent. Dead on. So you get the jingle that you love.
Honey, I wouldn't come out there again for love nor money, I'll tell you.
All these names are going into the hat for Elvis Fan of the Year. Hugh McKenna says, I'm counting on you. Yes, that's exactly what it was. And Norset says, way to go, Brent. Well done, Brent, says Kirsty. Yeah. Joe. Helen. Yeah. Wet Blanket. Wet Blanket, glad to see you back in the building. I really am. And I can see that it's wet with 2 T's. Right. So here we go. So, the next one is a mystery co-star. I haven't got... No. I haven't got a jingle for mystery co-star. I'm going to have to do one for mystery co-star. Right. Here we are. Who is this? Start with an easy one. Yeah, I knew you'd get it. Oh God, mystery co-star, not good. was that Dylan? I think it was. Wow, look at all those Donna Douglases. Dave and Maxine, you're going to have to pick the bones out of that. Okay, that was a blind guess on my part. Okay, well, it looks like to me that it was Norset 45. Okay, so Norset.
Honey, I wouldn't come out there again for love nor money, I'll tell you.
The crowd loved it because listen to the roar they give after he says it.
Honey, I wouldn't come out there again for love nor money, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Right, yeah, and just to prove that is Donna Douglas, that's the shot it's taken from. Frankie and Johnny. Okay, now. This one might be a little bit more difficult. Mystery co-star number 2. Who is that young lady? Let's see. Lily Ramos says, you rock, Norset. Elsa Cardenas? No. Joan Blackman? No. Marilyn Mason? No. Marianne Mobley? No. I've got you. Joan Blackman? No. This could be the first time ever nobody gets it. And then again. Yeah, the Sue Ann Langdon starts coming through, and that is the correct Sophie Loren. Well, Sophie Loren, as far as I know, didn't appear in any Elvis films. So, yeah, it was Paul Gansky was the first person, hi Paul, to get it right. Oh, by the way, thanks for the emails. Yeah, so Paul Gansky gets this.
Honey, I wouldn't come out there again for love nor money, I'll tell you.
And just to prove that it is Sue Ann Langdon from Roustabout, the fortune teller, there she is. And Sue is still with us, actually. She's obviously in her 80s, mid to late 80s, but she's still with us. And I'd love to speak to Sue, but I have no idea how to get hold of her. She's definitely not on social media anyway. So, yeah, lovely lady. The next one is Jumpsuit. You've got to name the jumpsuit. There you have it. This is it. And this is a simple one. Yeah, she was in 2 movies, is right. She was in Roustabout and Frankie and Johnny, I believe. Right, here we go. Yes, that's right. It is Dylan's Domains, Brent. And Dave says, come on, Dylan. Well, I think a lot of people are going to get this, but it's all down to speed. So as soon as I do this with my hand, with my finger on my mouse, okay, to load the picture, That's when I'm stringing it out. Here we go. What jumpsuit is this? Easy peasy. But who's going to get it? It has to be the name of the jumpsuit as listed on the Elvis Jumpsuit Index. He did it. Oh, he did it. It was purely speed because look at all those fringes. And that's basically what it is. It's the fringe. Yeah. Yeah. Dave says Dylan, of course. Yeah. Okay. Right. Can't argue with that. Well done, Dylan. Dylan?
Honey, I wouldn't come out there again for love nor money, I'll tell you.
Right. And Dylan was saying, I think he's got the Elvis in concert jacket. So if his name comes out, he's going to donate it. Thanks a lot, Dylan. Oh, and just to prove that that is the fringe jumpsuit, there it is. He wore that opening night, I believe, August 10th. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he did. Yeah, Vincenzo says, I love the fringe jumpsuit. Right. That's the fringe. Okay. We've got name the jumpsuit, which is the last question for this month. Because as I said, I'm not actually here next week, the 27th. I'm back on the 3rd, Sunday the 3rd. But I will give you a reminder when I'm back. Don't worry. And Carolina Loves Elvis says, hot, hot. Yes, yes. Will I show that again? Just so that you can swoon. There you are. Okay. Jumpsuit number 2. The final question. I will be giving away that Elvis in concert jacket on my return when I've pulled the name out. And this is it. What jumpsuit is this? Dylan says, oh God, another one. But you're good at jumpsuits, Dylan. You're going to tell me now exactly the name of that jumpsuit as listed in the jumpsuit index. And the spelling has to be right. Aztec, no. Okay. There's some spellings there that are wrong. Eagle, no. Fuzzy pick, yeah, I know. I had to zoom in, yeah. Lily Ramos says Pharaoh. Okay. We could have a problem here because people are calling it the correct name, but they're not spelling it right. So I might have to just... I don't know what I'll do. Egyptian suit, no. All I'll say is people that have said Pharaoh are close. They're close, okay? Yeah, this is a good point. How do you spell it? Yeah, well, Dylan was in there first. Now, Bossa Nova Baby, we're getting closer. I've checked this. I've checked this with the Elvis Jumpsuit Index. We might have to just strike this one off and just say 5. No, we've got it. Right. The spelling is Pharo. Pharo. So, yeah. So, but nobody spelt it that way, did they? Because Norset put an extra A in there. So I'm gonna have to, unfortunately, because I've given you the right spelling now, I'm gonna actually have to strike that out. This is it. Dylan says, "Oh, of course it is. I'm dumb. This is what it looks like." Okay. So I made a right mess of that, to be honest. Norset says strike. Yeah. Yeah, whoever named it obviously didn't know how to spell. Correct, because Pharo is not how you spell Pharaoh. So, Yeah. Okay. So just for everybody.
Honey, I wouldn't come out there again for love nor money, I'll tell you.
So what a way to end the August fan of the month. Vernon named it, probably. Yeah. It doesn't matter, because everybody that got a question correct first during the year, they go into the hat for the Elvis fan of the year. Now, let's have a look. The topic, yes. As I said earlier on, I purposely held off doing anything on the 16th. I could have come on and done a live show or done a tribute show, but Brent, Elvis Nation, Elvis Lass, A to Z, all the other Elvis channels did such a great job, such great tributes to the man on the 16th, that I didn't want to be not competing. That's not the right word, but I didn't want to be doing. I wanted to just let them do that, because I applaud them for what they did. Brent did a show. Elvis Lass did a couple of tributes, actually, and fantastic tributes, as did all the others as well. Rick as well. So yeah, and Leon. Don't forget Leon as well. So yeah, Brent says we all do it differently. Yes, and Dylan says Brent's show was absolutely beautiful. It was, and also Elvis Lass's tribute was beautiful as well. But what I thought I would do is I kind of put a picture on the community tab, and I asked people just to leave messages for Elvis, and I've picked a few that I thought were particularly good and tugged at the heartstrings. I must admit, some of them actually, somebody must have been cutting an onion in the room when I was reading them. So I wanted to just share a few of these with you, and as you can see, I will never forget you. I think that goes for all of us when we see that photograph. And that was one I saw on a group, and I thought I'll use that while I'm reading these comments out. Melanium says, "You were a gift from God. You were talented, loving, giving, and stunning. I wish you could have stayed longer. Rest in peace, Elvis." Mary Elvis, hi Mary, says, "Dear Elvis, every time I listen to your songs, you give me a heart full of joy, a smile on my face, and a sense of peace in my mind. Please bring me home to Graceland. I love you forever." Carolina and Elvis, "You have my heart, Elvis. It has been an emotional day with a happy tear or two. Remembering you and the inspiration you have been in my life, you make me smile every day." Rebel Vegan, hi Rebel, we know Rebel very well. "We love you, Elvis. Your talents brought joy to millions all over the world and continue to do so forever in our hearts." Katie's Creative Channel, hi Katie. "Dear Elvis, you came and shook the world by its feet, literally. Before your music, there was nothing. You are the prime example of an American dream come true. You represented hope that things can change. You stuck to your guns, and without you, there wouldn't be so many wonderful things that music and life have to offer. You are the main reason why teenagers are now allowed to be teenagers and are allowed to freely express emotion through music. You changed the world for the better, not just as an entertainer, but purely from being yourself as a human being. Without your song, the day would never end. Without your song, the road would never bend. Without your song, a girl wouldn't have a friend. So even in heaven, keep singing your song. R.I.P. Elvis Aaron Presley." Linda Antoinette, "I remember the day you left like it was yesterday. My beautiful mum came upstairs into my bedroom to tell me. I was listening to I Believe and Peace in the Valley. I cried, and I remember my mum sitting with me to comfort me. I'll always love you, Elvis, always and forever, R.I.P. And we've got Dolores Petrie. Hi, Dolores. Elvis will never be forgotten. He was one unique human being that cared about others. He was one of a kind. There won't be another. No one like him ever. Lily Ramos. Hi, Lily. You left way too early. Beautiful, Elvis. You will forever be in our hearts, and we will always continue to keep your legacy alive. Well, that's what I'm here for as well, trying to do, keep his legacy alive. Vilma Morrow. Hi, Vilma. We could never forget that beautiful and sweet soul. Remembering you always, Elvis. Don't worry. And I'd like to finish with this one from Joey Mack. I never got to see you live. You left us 8 years before I was born, but you left us so much music, so much joy. You always wondered what your legacy would be and if you'd ever be remembered. Now you have your answer, Elvis. You are a music star and icon. You're a movie star. You rose from extreme poverty in the Deep South and became the epitome of the American dream. Your recordings have sold billions the world over. Your movies are shown almost daily, whether through music, movies or live performances. You, Mr. Presley, touched us with your unique blend of American musical styles and created a style all of your own. You shared your God-given talents with us, and you were truly a humble, good human being and didn't take anything or anyone for granted. I heard a quote once: there are 3 things that are truly American: baseball, Mickey Mouse, and Elvis Presley. Love you, Elvis, and even though you left before I was born, I miss you. So, those were some of the messages that you left on the community tab for me when I posted my own tribute photograph of Elvis, saying we would never forget, and just asked you really just to leave messages for him, and those are some of them. There were many more. All of those were great comments, and all the other ones that I couldn't read out because of time restrictions and so forth were great as well. But thanks everybody that left those messages. And I mean, for sure, we won't forget, will we? I'm pretty sure that the world won't forget Elvis either. And if you enjoyed, I don't know whether the word enjoyed is the candlelight vigil as well. That was something. And Elvis Week. In fact, if you were at Elvis Week and you want to ring in and tell us about it, I'll be opening the lines in a few minutes. I just want to do the poll, actually, because I want you to be sort of voting on that as we go along. And you remember when I said, let's have a look, reinventing Elvis, and I said I would tie that in with the poll. Well, that's what I've done, and this is going to be the question. The question is, if you've seen Reinventing Elvis, what did you think? Good, okay, was disappointed, or haven't seen it yet? So I will be interested, and that will come up on your screen now, and I'd ask for you to vote good, okay, was disappointed, I haven't seen it yet. And I'll give you the numbers at the end. If you're watching this on playback, you won't be able to see it, as I say every week, but you will hear me give out the results. I'll be interested actually to see. I mean, I gave my verdict a couple of weeks ago on it. I saw it at the movie theaters, and I would have been voting good, yeah. So right, let's do what we always do, and that's phone lines open. Call in now. So I'm going to do that, if I can remember the right buttons to press. Where are you? There, that's the button there. You can call in. You can tell me about Elvis Week. You can tell me if you were in Memphis. You can tell me if you're at the Candlelight Vigil. You can, yeah, you can. Let's have a look. I don't even have to tell you who this was, actually. Hi, Dylan.
This. Hello.
How are you?
Yes, it's me. It's me again. As always, as per usual. Yeah, I'm good.
Good. Hang on a second. Let me just get rid of this for a second. There seems to be right. Okay, there seem to be 2 calls coming in there actually. Right. Okay. So
Yeah.
let me find out from you. What are you ringing me about?
Yeah. A lot of things.
A lot of things. Right. Well,
Re-
that's great. That's no problem.
but reinventing Elvis mostly.
Oh, great. Okay, you've seen it then, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. How
It
did
was
you
good.
how you would be voting good, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was really good.
Yeah.
There was 1 or 2 things that didn't need to be in there, but apart from that,
What you mean
it was
like
all good.
you mean like the recording artists and things like that, yeah?
No.
Oh.
About how, like we said, that like Elvis's career in the 60s leading up to it was like irrelevant, and how
Yeah, well,
like
a lot of people have already said that, haven't they? They've kind of said, look, why did they make so much? Why did they try and make out that the movies were irrelevant and they were terrible and all this and all that? So yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people would agree with what you're saying there.
But I think something that Drake Milligan said, which really stuck with me, is he said that something that I think is that he said that Elvis doesn't get enough credit for how good of a singer he was.
Yeah, I agree.
Because like people like credit him as an all rounder, which they should, because he was.
Yeah.
But some people forget how quite good his voice was, really. Because there's a video out there, and it's Elvis Presley's vocal range.
Yeah.
And if I remember rightly, his lowest was like a C1, which is like, which to put it into like perspective, it's like an octave, just 1 octave lower than JD.
Lower than JD. That takes some doing.
No, higher.
Higher. I know what you mean. Yeah, higher. Yeah.
I'm stupid. And then the highest was like an A5, which is like Kathy level.
Yeah.
So the boy had a range on him.
Yeah, he certainly did.
He had a
his voice definitely got lower as he got older. 76 and 77, it was a lot lower than what he could have done in the 60s. Put it that way.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, he still would have. Like, I think he would have been good at like his movie songs in the 70s.
Mm-hmm. Elvis Presley, the legend, TCB, always says one problem with the new documentary was too much Alana Nash.
That's another thing. So she said some questionable things in there, which I was like, did you really need to say that? Like,
well, a lot of people are saying it wasn't the reinventing Elvis that she said the questionable things in, but it was the Elvis's Women documentary.
Well, I've not seen.
No, I've not seen it either. No.
But I have heard some of the things that David Stanley said in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said something about like how like Elvis was like high off his mind in like 72 or something, and about how and just like stupid things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, and then the other thing that I wanted to say was, that Pharaoh question.
Yeah.
Whoever spelt Pharaoh without the H needs hanging. Like who spells Pharaoh without an H?
Exactly. Yeah, I thought that might trip some people up, because I checked the spelling and it's Pharo. So I kind of just struck it out, unfortunately. I won't be using that question again. That's for sure.
Well, but here's the thing that I meant to ask like ages ago. You know when you say like that you want like the names of the suits, obviously.
Mm.
Do you want like alternate names as well? Because the Pharaoh is also known as the Today suit. So like say someone said the Today suit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Would you still?
Well, it's what I always say it's what I have written down on the sheet. So
because that Spanish flower question a few weeks back as well.
Yeah.
I didn't know whether on the website it said black and red or just black. So originally I put black Spanish flower, thinking it was wrong.
And you got it right, did you?
But hey ho, that's right.
Just another thing, going back to reinventing Elvis. You know, near the start when they were saying about they were waiting for him to come on and all this and all that. I wonder why they showed the clock at 8 o'clock instead of 6 o'clock, because we now know that he did 2 stand-up shows, 2 sit-down shows, and they were 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. So why did they show 8 p.m. as the first show?
As the first show?
Yeah. That's one of the things I noticed straight away. I thought, that's the wrong time.
I don't know how you would show it for the first show.
Yeah.
If it was for the second show, then like you say, it'd be right. But
I also picked that up on the Baz film as well when they were doing it. Right, the clock on the wall behind them, it showed 4:30. Again, that's wrong. It should have been 6 o'clock. So just a small thing, but I'm just wondering why they're not. Both the documentary and the Baz Luhrmann movie both got the time wrong, which is odd.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I love him.
If I ever get Baz on the show, I'll ask him.
No, I meant to say one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No. You carry on.
And I forgot. See, okay. No, see, this is how you know you're getting old because
when you can't remember what you're going to say.
No, okay, I remembered.
Okay.
I like how they just played the If I Can Dream performances like straight through.
Yes. Yeah, I was hoping halfway through somebody wouldn't start talking or voiceover or they cut away to show somebody. So I was very glad. They just showed it completely free of all comment and everything.
Which I was so glad because like when it started, I'm like, oh my God, please just like play the whole thing all the way through, please.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and there was no comment after it either. It was just the titles and that was it.
Yeah.
Did you see you saw it on streaming? Did you?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Alrighty. Thanks, Dylan.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
oh yeah.
Cheers. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. It's just a little niggle that I have, but I'm not sure why they're doing that. They keep showing the wrong time. Hey, Mark.
Hello, Steve. How you doing?
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
So, reinventing Elvis. Did you see it?
I haven't yet. No.
Oh.
I haven't. But
right.
I saw a really good interview on it today on your YouTube, and it was one of the guys who was one of the co-producers of it.
Oh, right.
And he was talking to a journalist like you at the program. This guy's been best friends with Steve Binder for 50 years or more, close partnership, so they know each other well.
Right.
And the guy was talking to him about the special and just certain bits that were quite interesting. He didn't have a good word to say about the Colonel.
No, I wouldn't.
He turned around and said the Colonel was just a bully.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says he really, for one time in his life, he didn't get his own way, and so glad that he didn't. He was saying that Elvis was absolutely fantastic in this and regenerated him. And obviously, after all the years of doing the films that he didn't want to do, it was going back to the days when he was live at the Ed Sullivan Show and all that kind of stuff, getting back to his roots. And he says, the part where he says, Elvis 68, you just saw everything. Elvis was vulnerable, he was nervous, he was laughing, he was joking, he was having a great time. It shows, and that's why he wanted to do this special as well, to show, because this was really the first time, it wasn't even like an unplugged show. Steve hadn't even done anything like this before, and he was just saying how brave he was to do it, and how brave he was just to say no to the Colonel on every thing that the Colonel asked for.
You see, I think that Elvis realized just how important this TV special was going to be. It was. I think he realized that it was a make or break.
Yeah. The guy kind of said, I've got 100% time for Elvis. 68 come back, and he came back after doing all them awful films that he didn't really want to do.
Yeah.
And he says he was fantastic in that. 69 when he come back in the Memphis sessions and all that, but he hadn't got time for what Colonel did to him in Vegas.
Mm.
You know, he said he killed him.
Yeah.
He actually said to him, he killed him. He destroyed him as a person, and destroyed his singing, his ambition to hold himself for a quick buck. He said about the song at the end of the special. You know, is it Errol Brown who wrote the song, or Brown, somebody?
Earl Brown, yeah. Earl Walker Brown, yeah.
Yeah. He wrote "If I Could Dream." He said in this little interview, he actually wrote another song for Elvis as well.
Oh, right.
And Elvis didn't. I don't think Elvis put his vocal down to it, but he was. But the reason why he didn't at the end of the day is because he wanted the publishing rights off it.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And the Colonel, of course, so that was in the pan, but he says that there might be a little surprise, not Elvis thing, but they might release the song again, the song that may have, Elvis may have recorded at the same time as he did "If I Can Dream," because he was talking about Baz behind the special as well. It was quite interesting, and he was just saying.
And this was on YouTube, was it?
Yeah, today I saw it today. It's really good, and he was just saying how Baz came over to them pair, Steve Binder and himself, and talked all about this stuff they wanted to put into the film, and they were actually talking about the bordello scene, how this only came out. I think it was a year after Elvis died. They put a special on the TV of Elvis, and they sent somebody down to the vaults, and the guy who picked up the '68 tape for the vaults was all the actual the main whole thing that he recorded.
Yeah.
He didn't realise that. He thought it would just be the hour special that was on.
Yeah, it was all the outtakes and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. He brought it home, and that's how the bordello scene was seen, because it was never seen the first time.
No, it wasn't.
So he said that all came out of light, and then you got all that stuff that you hadn't seen before. It was getting quite, it's just quite interesting in the whole thing, really.
Now, you see, I always think it's quite indicative of how threatened Parker felt from Steve by the way that even though Elvis gave Steve his number, Steve was never able to contact Elvis because the Parker made sure that the boys kept him away. I remember a story as well. Steve was there for opening night, 1969, and he went to Elvis's dressing room afterwards and wanted to see Elvis, and they kept him away. And as far as he knows, Elvis never even knew that Steve wanted to see him.
No, yeah, he said that in the thing. He said, they passed on the number. Colonel made sure that number was never used. He told the guys to keep him away from when he's going to come back to see him in Vegas. He was threatened, and the guy actually said to him, "Do you think Steve may have managed him?" And he said, "I don't think so. He done what he had to do in 1968. He rose him back to where he needed to be, and he was back to being Elvis, the man, the guy who could sing anything, the man who wanted to be in front of an audience again and be the person he was, a human being, vulnerable, nervous, joking around, but a true artist."
Yeah.
He said, "We got him back to be a true artist," and Steve said, "I'm happy that I did that, and it's gone down in history as being the most, probably the best TV special of all time."
Yeah.
So, so he done his job, but I don't think he wanted to manage him because he knew about the Colonel.
Oh,
He
no.
wasn't daft.
Yeah.
He wasn't daft. The guy said about Steve. Steve could see straight through him straight away.
Yeah,
but
just think though, if things had been different and Steve had got a hold of him, would Parker have allowed him to do another television special, or is it probably not, because he was on the verge of going to Vegas after the television special? That's when it all took off again, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. And actually, Steve said while he was producing all the special and everything, he told all his producers around him, "Keep the Colonel away from me."
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that to him. Said, "I'm doing what I'm going to do with Elvis," and he wasn't interested in all this crap he's going on about the Christmas songs and all this golden stuff. So it was really, it was interesting, and I saw that on Elvis Week. Did you see the interview with Lee Majors?
No, not yet. Is it
Yeah,
good?
that's good. Yeah, it's quite interesting how he got the part in Clambake.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I won't say no more, but we'll watch it. It's quite. It's quite.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
I'll watch. I'll watch it when I'm on holiday.
Yeah, but he actually. Well, I didn't really know. Well, I did kind of know, but didn't know. But he was kind of part of the Memphis Mafia. Elvis actually brought him into it.
Yeah.
He said be part of it. He gave him the neck to say he still has today and still wears.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
very
Good.
Good. I'll look forward to watching that.
Well.
All right.
He knew the guy as well So yeah, it's quite interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cheers, Mark.
Right,
all the best.
Thanks, Joe.
All right. Bye. Yeah. Somebody actually sent me. They didn't send me the copy of it. I think they sent me a link or something like that to the Lee Majors interview during Elvis Week, and I must watch it now. Okay, here we go. Is that Danny?
Yeah, hi, Steve.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Very good.
Nice to speak to you.
Yes, you too. Yeah, I saw it finally.
You saw Reinventing Elvis, yeah?
Yeah, I saw it. In fact, I was over at my neighbor's big house mansion there where he has like a theater room in his house.
Oh, lovely.
So you saw it on a huge screen.
Yeah,
and
you can't beat seeing Elvis on the big screen, can you?
No, it brings a whole different dynamic to, and then I tried to watch it on my phone again. It wasn't the same. So, but I thought it was very, very well done. Yeah, that 8:00 thing, I didn't get that. It's funny because
it's such a simple thing to research. I don't know how they got that wrong, to be honest. But
yeah, I think they made a mistake and just didn't see it, and I think they just left it in there. But a few things I want to talk about.
Yeah, by all means,
yeah. And then I got something to talk about with my uncle too when Elvis passed away. I thought that the whole thing, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10, like you did, or 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
I thought it was very well done. I think they got into the 60s history of the 60s a bit too much. The political part of I know they were trying to tell people it was the late 60s and, it was hippies age and Woodstock and all this kind of stuff. And Elvis hadn't been seen in the public for years. And the point where Steve Binder said that, I dare you, Elvis, to walk out on the boulevard. And not one person really recognized him, that kind of thing, just to see what it was like. I thought that was fascinating because I never knew that. I heard,
but that some of the Memphis Mafia refute that happened. But I think I could see Steve doing something like that.
No, yeah, and in one of the television miniseries that was about Elvis, they showed that scene where he walked out on the boulevard, and people were just walking by him, not even recognizing him.
Yeah,
and he didn't like it. He didn't like it at all.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I can see his point.
Yeah, but yeah, I the whole concept of the documentary was so well done. I really liked the footage that they showed of Elvis. There was a lot of footage of him, which I'm surprised because I heard before that they just had a lot of clips of pics and stuff. They didn't have a lot of footage of him, but I feel they did. I don't know what you thought of that.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, the footage that they showed of Elvis was probably the most important part of the '68 special.
Mm-hmm.
Of the footage that he put into the film. I'm really surprised that I don't know why about this, but I'm really surprised Priscilla wasn't there being interviewed for this documentary because she was there, right?
Yeah, she was at the shows.
Yeah, she was there for him, and they said it was the first time she saw him live because she never did see him when they got married and stuff. She never saw him live at all. Yeah,
I mean the best, probably the nearest thing she would have seen was him on a movie set, but he would have been just lip syncing to the records anyway. So exactly,
yeah, that kind of thing. But I really thought it was very, very well done. I had to the point of. I remember my mother telling me that when they saw it on TV, and of course it was tape delay because it was, like later on, that they had different shots coming from and they showed Colonel Parker at one point standing there with his arms folded. And then he was funny because he was over in another corner and it looked like he was gambling or something. That's why my mother says, I don't know if anybody out there, is, because I was only like 3 years old when that was on TV, but I don't know if anybody else, my mother's age remembers that type of thing when it was on TV. But those are the things I really wanted to talk about. I thought Steve Binder did a great job on it. And I hope that people can now see how important this show was to him, because I believe that if he did not have this 68 comeback special, I don't know if he would have reestablished himself as he did.
Well, going back to the thing where you say he went out on the boulevard and nobody recognized him, and they were sort of bumping into him and saying, "Oh, sorry," but not even recognizing him. Yeah. Maybe that's the thing that focused his mind and realized his. What did Steve say? Your career's in the toilet.
Yeah.
Maybe that made him realize that yes, it is.
Yeah, it is in the toilet, and I remember my father telling me, and even my uncle, that Elvis is. Nobody heard from him, Steve. Like for years, nobody heard from him. Like he hadn't done anything.
Yeah.
From the early '60s all the way to that. Like, oh my God, there's going to be an Elvis special. Like, oh man, we got to see this. Like, what does he look like? Like, what is he? Like.
Yeah, it was only the hardcore fans by sort of 65, 66 that were going to see his pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, but to actually see him on stage again and do stuff, it's like, nobody ever heard that. Anyways, when Elvis passed away in 1977, Red Robinson, my uncle, he had his own radio station here. He put on a whole week of Elvis memorabilia, interviews and everything for that whole week.
Wow, a whole week.
And for the whole week, all across Canada and all across Vancouver. Yeah. He had clips and music and interviews that he did when he met him, but everything else that he put on an unbelievable show for about a whole week. And
did Red ever meet Elvis again after 1957?
No. Actually, there was a rumor that he had told my father or my mother that, and I don't know if it was going to be a big rumor, but he was going to come to Seattle in 1975 or 74. I can't remember when he was in Seattle. But there was a rumor Red was trying to get him across the border again into Vancouver. He was going to play at one of our indoor Coliseum venues. But the Colonel right away shot it down and said no. Like he just said, no, we're not going back to that town again. Oh, so, he had a whole week special, that whole week of just nothing but 24 hours Elvis, like for the whole 6 days, I guess it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And of course, everybody had, my mom and dad actually were recording all this on, remember cassette tapes?
Yeah. Well, of course, that would have been sort of the first Elvis week then, wouldn't it, really? Red did the first Elvis week.
Yeah, he did in Canada. Yeah, he did the first Elvis week. Yeah, he really did. Yeah, but of course, during that whole week on NBC and everything, they always had specials about him and people are doing tributes to him and stuff like that. But
they don't. Anyways, I just they don't show Elvis movies as much as they used to on television. I remember, the first year or two after he passed away, they would have Elvis seasons. And they'd have a whole every morning at 10 a.m. around Christmas time and around his death as well, the anniversary of his death, they'd show Elvis movies. They don't do that. They don't seem to do that anymore.
No, they don't. No, they seem to gotten away from that. But I really enjoyed his earlier movies more than anything else.
Yeah.
When I was older, I enjoyed his stuff he did in the 50s. Blue Hawaii and stuff like that was good.
Yeah.
But the stuff after that I really didn't enjoy that much. So, but anyways, I just wanted to share that with you, Steve.
Thanks, Danny. Thanks. It's always a pleasure speaking to you, and thanks for calling in.
Okay, thank you.
All the best.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Red Robinson, who passed away quite recently, unfortunately, that's his nephew, Danny. And Red was a huge Elvis fan, of course. He was a disc jockey in Canada, and he also interviewed Elvis in connection with the concerts that he did in 1957 in Canada. So let's have a look. Don't forget, you can still vote on, if you've seen Reinventing Elvis, what did you think? Did you think it was good? Do you think it was just okay? You were disappointed, or you haven't seen it yet? Because I know everybody hasn't they didn't either get a chance to go and see it in the movie theaters, or they haven't got Paramount Plus, or they just haven't had time yet to go to download it. Hello.
Hi, Steve. This is Vanessa. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly, Vanessa. Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. And what was I going to say there? You're the Vanessa that... what's this? Hang on a second. There seems to be two calls coming in at once. You're the Vanessa that sent me an email or a message there yesterday. Is that correct? Good.
Yes.
Yeah, I passed that on for you.
Thank you. Thank you. So I just wanted to, we actually just got back from Memphis.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Just wanted to call in and there was
Elvis Week.
so much.
Where did you stay?
So we actually stay about 10 minutes away. We stay down in Horn Lake, and for Elvis Week, it's not that far away, and it can be more affordable instead of staying right there. And sometimes it's nice to would that be near the Circle G? That's a good question. It is in Mississippi, but I'm not sure exactly how far away it is from Circle G. Okay. But so many things to talk about. Yeah. The guests this year, I think personally myself, it was definitely nice to have Jerry Schilling and Linda Thompson there. Okay. Sharing memories. And I did attend the conversations that had a large guest list, and then obviously Lisa Marie's tribute as well, which was very touching. Yes. And Linda was warm and loving and sharing her experiences, and it was definitely nice to listen to people that were in Elvis's life and knew Elvis. I feel that there are less and less of those people, so it's always a blessing. Yeah. And the candlelight is always, the kind of the culmination of all the events. And every time, it's always just a very beautiful sight. I was blessed to stand honor guard, and there was a time when I actually got to hold the torch with the eternal flame. So that was my daughter and I both had that, which was a once in a lifetime experience. So it was quite beautiful.
Did you get to meet Linda and Jerry?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Did you get to meet Linda and Jerry?
Not personally, but
they were doing tours through the house, weren't they?
They were, but I did not do a tour, but they were very much there in the events and at the candlelight. We did see them both. The fans saw them both in the meditation garden, both throughout the ceremony. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. And you went to the theater and you saw, this is the obviously the guest house theater. They were showing movies and they were having shows there and everything, weren't they? At the guest house theater, this was actually across the street at the sound stage. Right. Okay.
I mean, are people allowed into the shows into the guest house if they're not staying there?
They so that at the guest house they don't during Elvis week they don't they only have certain shows that are there, but people are allowed to be at the guest house and obviously connect and network. But
Okay.
I just wanted to share my experience, and I will tell you, Steve, fans from around the world,
Yes.
once again, it always is amazing to meet people from all over the world who share the love of Elvis. And it was a very beautiful, loving time, as it always is.
Yeah. And tell me this obviously isn't your first time, no?
No, I've been blessed enough to attend a couple times, and this year definitely was a bit different. Obviously, we the loss of Lisa, and having all of that to still process.
There was probably a bigger turnout as well this year, was there, than maybe previous years because of obviously COVID.
So last year, actually, I think being the 45th anniversary in the movie and lifting the regulations of COVID, I think last year was a bit more, just a slight bit more than this year. It'll be interesting to see in 4 years when obviously it's the 50th. But it's always lovely to see everyone, and it's always a really wonderful time, and we honor the man, and it's really a blessing to be able to do that.
I think in 4 years' time, the 51 will be a big one. I believe it really will be a huge one. Sadly, of course, Lisa won't be there. Whether Priscilla will attend or not, we don't know. I'm sure Jerry will still be attending if he can, and Linda. But yeah, it's hard to believe it's only 4 years away until it's 50 years.
I know.
It's just unbelievable. Really is unbelievable. Okay. Anything else anything else you'd like to add?
No, I just wanted to say hello, and I hope everyone enjoys obviously their Elvis experiences. I would definitely just the whole experience, and even afterwards, any of the films. And I will mention, they did the Lisa Marie tribute. Yeah. And they did release an unheard of recording of You'll Never Walk Alone.
Oh, yes, I did hear that. Joel Weinshanker said, but don't record this or something, he said, didn't he?
Correct. And from what I saw, a majority of people were respectful of that. When they do end up releasing it publicly, obviously it's very moving. That's actually one of my top Elvis gospel songs.
I wonder will they do it at Christmas time maybe?
Possibly. I will say that he did mention Riley we will be seeing a presence, maybe sooner rather than later. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to see Reinventing Elvis?
I unfortunately have not had a chance. I know that they had it in theaters, and then obviously it was released on Amazon. It's been kind of a busy week, so I'm hoping
yes, it has been a busy week for you. Definitely a busy week, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, ring back in when you've seen it and let us know, will you? What you think?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
All right. Thanks, Vanessa.
Everyone, have a great day. Bye-bye.
Same to you. Bye-bye. Bye. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's kind of hard to believe that in 4 short years, it's going to be 50 years since Elvis died. And already he's been dead longer than he was alive. 42, 46, it's, and still going strong as well. If you have seen Reinventing Elvis, what did you think? Good, okay, was disappointed, or you haven't seen it yet? If you can vote on that, I see that people are still voting on that poll, so I'll leave it run for a little while longer. The one thing I will do, though, is I will say that we still have coming up This Day in Elvis History, a song I wish Elvis had recorded by Laurie Gelman, also known as Wally Marcel. Okay, so that'll be coming up as well. Now, let's see who's on here. Hello.
Hi, Steve. It's Ian McKay.
Ian McKay, how are you?
Ian McKay, it's McKay. Come on.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
I always laugh when you try to pronounce some of the names. It's funny.
I must admit, it's not my strong point.
Reinventing Elvis.
Yes.
I was very, very disappointed. Obviously, like most fans, NBC, anything on NBC is tremendous. But it's pretty clear that it was not made by Steve Binder. When you look at the credits, the credits are it's obviously based on his book. But when you think of how much material is actually in it, the stuff that's interesting, obviously things like the choreographer, that was fascinating. The dancers, it was great. It was great to see them. But when you see the actual Elvis material that they've got on it, it's minuscule. So they've got so much padding. There's so much padding. You think you're going to watch. You think. I mean, I think you've actually last week. I think you hit all the right notes with your own critique of it. And but I think you were being far too gentle with them, because the musicians who are completely unknown to everyone, presumably outside of a bit of Nashville or something like that. These people, their opinions on it are utterly meaningless. Utterly meaningless. They're as meaningless as Alana Nash's views on the NBC special. I love the contemporary accounts of it. They're so exciting, and for those of us who were too young at the time to be around, I remember my first sight of the special was a year after Elvis died, and it was actually in Newcastle, because obviously all the tapes were stolen just after Elvis died, and so in 1978 all of the outtakes were all being shown. I'm not naming the guy, but they were being shown in the UK and were all around. And I travelled to see it in Newcastle from Edinburgh. And I was really excited, even travelling to get there. Yeah. And when I got there, obviously I couldn't believe it when the opening scenes came on. So it's a very, very exciting special. And I feel it was really diluted by having, firstly, I think, as Dylan said, the material at the beginning about Elvis's career. I mean, I understand the importance of having context, but to try and say that it's pretty much everything Elvis did in the 60s was rubbish, and that this completely rescued Elvis is just nonsense. Because when you look at Big Boss Man, You Don't Know Me, all the sort of tracks that Elvis was recording in 66, 67, he was obviously making his own artistic comeback. Yeah. I think the special was very, very important to his career, but the amount of material that was used as context was it just spoiled it for me. And the musicians' views were no more important than the people who've got on the chat today. Their views are just as important as these musicians. Yeah, so,
I mean, the only song we heard in full was "If I Can Dream." Everything else was sort of interrupted by the talking heads every so often, wasn't it?
And when I heard you say that, I thought, great. That's a great. When I heard you talking about it last week, saying that that's how it ended, I thought, great. That's really exciting. But you know what was missed? You know what was missed off the end? Thank you. Good night. Yeah. And I can't believe they missed that off. I can't believe it. Yeah. I mean, it was so. I mean, that was the problem. It was not made by Steve Binder. It was clearly they were using his material. They were obviously constrained in the amount of material allowed to show, so we had too much filler, far too much filler. I would much rather have seen much more contemporary fan views. What was it like being around? I've always really been excited to hear fans who were around at the time of Elvis's comeback. Yes, that I remember reading about afterwards, because I wasn't around. I wasn't a fan of '68. But I remember reading Rocky Barra's Strictly Elvis which are tremendous American magazines. Rocky started his magazine in 1967, and he was a young guy at the time. And when you read the first issues of Strictly Elvis and follow them through, you can really get almost the same buzz that they were getting month after month. They were seeing Elvis, building up to NBC, and then here Elvis is actually going to start making live performances again. And that buzz, of course, that none of us can get anymore.
Yeah.
But if you read these things, the contemporary accounts, so what's important, the musicians, the dancers, that was great. Some of the comments were tremendous. But the filler material just spoiled it for me.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few people that were actually at the show as fans, wasn't there? There was Joan Gansky.
Yes.
As
yeah, it was great.
Yeah, but I mean, like you say, and then of course Susan Henning as well. That was good to see Susan, wasn't it?
Oh, I mean, it's fantastic. Every time you see Susan, every time you see her, and if you look at her original Coca-Cola adverts.
Yeah.
She was a stunning beauty.
Yeah.
And it was the way that obviously we know as fans that she was in Live a Little. But
yes,
when she actually said that on the documentary, when she said, "I saw Elvis again,"
yeah.
And it was like, wow, that's tremendous. Is that? Yeah, you're right. The fans, really exciting. I wish they had more of that. But I just, all that stuff in the background about this is who Elvis was coming up to 1968. We all know that. Everybody knows that.
That's a question I wanted to find out from people. They said that the Paramount Plus version might be shorter than the one in the movie theaters. Now, the movie theater ran for 2 hours. I'm just wondering how long the documentary lasts on Paramount Plus. Is it the same length?
I watched it on the train coming back from Switzerland to France yesterday.
Right.
And it seemed to go on for ages.
Oh.
And so I could probably have a quick look. But I watched the Paramount Plus version. It was a bit like, and so it appeared to go on forever. So I was almost, if I'm doing such a long trip, then I probably would skip through some of the nonsense that was talked by the contemporary musicians. But,
yeah.
But no, I assumed it was very long as well. I was quite surprised at how long it was. Yeah. But that was the Parliament version I watched.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, Mr. Mackay.
Good talking to you.
Mr. Mackay, I'll get it right next time.
Yeah.
Thanks, you.
All the best.
All right. All the best.
Cheers.
Bye.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah. So that's a question. I'm not too sure whether. Oh, here we go. Great. Hello.
Hey, Steve. How are you, my boy?
Hey, Priscilla. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Good.
What a night for callers, hey?
Yeah. Some really, really good callers tonight. I really enjoy it. I love to hear from people, other Elvis fans.
And you provide a tremendous platform for us to.
Thanks.
To have that opportunity, Steve, and we're very grateful for it.
Right. So, what's life been like with you for the last week then?
Well, do you know what? I'm ever amazed at Elvis, his far-reaching effect, even nowadays, and what the Elvis family do for each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. I'm so lucky to have the opportunity to have the interactions that I have had. And, people constantly amaze me, as does Elvis.
Yes.
And to maybe refer back to some of the earlier points. Firstly, I'm confused now. Is it McKay or McCoy? I can't.
I think it's Mackay. I think.
Okay, Mackay.
Yeah.
So, in reference to his comments about contemporary musicians, I'd have a slightly different outlook on that. I think, doesn't that prove the longevity of Elvis's impact? That these contemporary musicians nowadays are still being influenced on an ongoing basis by the music that Elvis produced over them 3 decades.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a different way of looking at it. Yeah. Yeah.
That then, in my opinion, maintains a relevance around Elvis and his music. So, look, come here, I tell you, anything I see on the television or the big screen that has Elvis that size, I'm happy bunny, babe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know? Yeah, like I did enjoy it, and you know that I sent you an unbelievable message at some hour of the night because I was so excited. I wanted to tell someone how great I thought it was.
It wasn't too late. It wasn't too late.
I think it was after 10, though. Steve.
Oh, yeah, after 10. Wow.
On a weeknight.
Yeah, on a weeknight. Yeah, yeah.
But I did enjoy it. I do think Steve Binder is the kind of man that I'd love to sit down with. I would love to have a conversation with that man because that man's rebel to the core.
Yeah,
isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, yeah.
So I think any, and maybe that's a bit, I don't know, sad really, but I think any conversation that any documentary or any movie brings us all talking about Elvis and brings people who aren't necessarily as avidly enthused by Elvis's existence into conversations, then I think there's something good to come out of it. And we should focus on the positives, do you know?
Well, you know that next up now is the Priscilla movie in October. And also, this you and I spoke about this last week. The exhibition in London, the Graceland exhibition.
Yes, tickets on sale on the 22nd.
Yeah. Now, do we know when it is? It just says October.
No,
at the
still
moment.
No dates, and even the information when I pre-registered, the information just said October.
Yeah, because I need to know because it looks like me and the wife are going to be going because I want to cover it for the channel, but I also want to go because I want to see the stuff again. You know, because it's probably the last time I'll get a chance to see anything from Graceland anyway, because it's so expensive.
Steve, well, it's for the 50th.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I will. Yeah. It's only 4 years away now. Like the caller said, I still can't believe it's nearly half a century since he left us.
I know. And your point that, you know, he's been dead longer than he walked the planet. And yet all those contemporary musicians refer back to him in their, you know, So I think that it's amazing, just absolutely amazing. And it's fitting, and it's exactly what should be happening. The man revolutionized the world as we know it for many reasons. And I thought, like Vanessa so eloquently described, you know, Elvis Week. And I've always said I'd never survive Memphis in August. But I'm definitely, Steve, I'm going to...
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to do it once anyway. Do that vigil once.
If I come into money, I'll do it with you as well.
Yeah, come here, babes, and right back at you. If I win the latter, you'll be the first on my list.
Thanks very much.
There was another point I wanted to make there, but now it's gone out of my head because I've gotten so excited.
Oh, that was like anyway, Dylan. Dylan says it's old age.
Yeah, well, now, you know, it could be old age, or it could just be, you know, excitement about so many excellent callers tonight and their comments.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, oh God, I'd like to do that. Oh my God. And then I'm saying, don't ring tonight now because, you know, give somebody else a chance.
We'd miss you if you didn't.
Keep saying, don't. I'm sure you wouldn't. I'm sure like a hold the head. But
No.
I do think that, and I'll finish with this, Steve.
Yeah.
I think that you provide us a wonderful platform, and I know you'll get cross with me for saying it, but I do think that that every Elvis fan in the world needs to know that this opportunity is afforded to them, and you provide a top class information service. You do amazing things to keep his legacy alive, and for that I am, and I'm sure lots of the team are eternally grateful. And so thank you, Steve.
Oh gosh,
and secondly,
I'm embarrassed. I can feel the colour rising in my cheeks.
Please don't be embarrassed. I mean, I mentioned to you I'm going on holidays.
Yeah.
So we leave next Saturday, and I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, how am I going to get to see the show?
Yeah.
Like, my husband and Sophie are saying, how are you going to get to see the show? But
I'm on holiday as well.
You're on holidays too. And this was not planned.
No, it was not planned, viewers. It was not planned.
And we're not going together.
No, definitely not. No. All right, Priscilla. Well, I'll speak to you in a couple of weeks, yeah?
Thanks, Steve. Okay. Have a great trip.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Well, I kind of know what Priscilla means when she says that it's me, but it's not. It's you. You know, I couldn't do this. This show wouldn't work without you. This show wouldn't work without the callers. All these great callers that have called in tonight. You make this channel. I just kind of try and sort of glue it all together as it happens. And then I do things like Elvis history, and I wish Elvis had recorded, and this new feature that's coming up. We've still got this new feature that I've introduced this week. So we're going to do This Day in Elvis History. And 1955, Elvis performed at the Louisiana Hayride Municipal Auditorium in Shreveport. 1956, Elvis reported to Fox for pre-production on the Reno Brothers, which would be renamed, as we know, Love Me Tender, to tie in with the recording that he did. And there is a publicity still from the Reno Brothers. Military leave in Memphis in 1958, because, as we know, how sad is it that he lost his mother on the 14th of August. 1960, Flaming Star. 1961, he was working on Follow That Dream. And in 1963, it was, of course, Viva Las Vegas. And then we have Paradise Hawaiian Style. Yep. And then we have Double Trouble in 1966. This time of year was very, very busy for the movies for Elvis. 1967, we have Speedway. Hello.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, Vincenzo.
It's me, Vincenzo.
How are you?
Not bad. How are you doing?
Now tell me, you told me that it wasn't available in Italy. Have you got to see Reinventing Elvis yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, right. And do you think you're going to be able to get a chance to see it?
Yeah, I want to try to get it, see if I can see it on Paramount Plus, maybe.
Yeah, and is Paramount Plus available where you are?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. So you think you might be able to see it then?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
All the best. Thanks, Vincenzo.
Nice talking to you. Have a good vacation.
Thanks very much. Nice talking to you. Hello. Oh.
Have a good vacation.
Thanks. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Vincenzo. Thanks. He was still there and I didn't realize. Okay, here we go. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Carolina. How are you?
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, let me see if I can hear you.
Okay. I can hear you, but you probably can't hear me.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hi. Sorry.
Hi, Carolina. Yeah.
Yes. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Where are you? It sounds a bit fuzzy.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I think it's my air. It's 95 degrees in Chicago today.
Oh, wow. I'm not surprised you need your air conditioning on then.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully this is better.
Whew. Wow. That is quite warm.
Yes. So I think I'm following Priscilla again, which
is
just my luck. I happen to follow Priscilla almost every time I call. But I just wanted to, I sort of like echo everything she said today. For a couple things I wanted to call. Reinventing Elvis. I saw it at the theater and I loved it. I haven't seen it on streaming yet, but I did want to mention I've seen quite a bit of promotion for the streaming of it on TV. So it's a lot different than when it hit the theaters. But it's good. It's good that it's being promoted as best as possible. And I've seen a lot of like pretty good reviews on as the reactors react to the documentary. So that's the good part. For Elvis Week, I just wanted, I know someone already mentioned the Lee Majors interview. That was really nice. Linda Thompson, I heard, was officially invited by Graceland, and she hasn't been officially invited before, I believe.
No, I don't think. I think it was her first time, wasn't it?
Yeah. I've seen other activities she does around Elvis Week, but not at Graceland. And I think this was the first time she was there. And I'm wondering if that has anything to do why Priscilla was not there. So I don't know. So
Could
I'm
be.
just guessing. Speculating. But the other great one that I wanted to mention for you guys to be on the lookout for is the Osmond interview. I think his name is Jay Osmond.
All
and
right.
I know that Donny Osmond has said that he met Elvis
Yeah.
when they opened for Nancy Sinatra, but I never knew details. And Jay Osmond, he gives a lot of great details. And the funny part, the best part was, what I thought was the funny part was that Elvis asked to meet them, of course, and then they show the cover of their album before Elvis and after Elvis. And oh boy, is it different. It's like Schoolboys sort of cover one year, and then the next album the next year, it's like flashy jumpsuits, lights, color, kind of Osmond Brothers.
So that's another influence that Elvis can take credit for.
Yes, big time. The sound, the look, the authenticity. I mean, he really guided them, and I feel like this is one thing. This is sometimes gets lost, where he had no one to guide him. He was just kind of like figuring out on his own. He took a lot of hits. He took a lot of it on the chin for so many stars, singers, even actors to come after him, but at the same time, he took the time to guide those. He loved his musicians. He supported his musicians, the ones that traveled. Like, I love watching him. And when he smiles, when Kathy would hit her notes, or when one of the quartets would sing their parts, and he just looked so happy and so proud. And he did that for his people and like other performances and actors and singers and bands, and he was just so amazing in that way. And Jay Osmond, when you hear him speak, he really comes across as like, yes, he was there for us, and I believe he did that for so many, and it just kind of gets lost in the mix of Elvis history. But that's a good one to look for as you catch up on all the Elvis Week activity.
Jay Osmond.
Jay Osmond.
Okay. All right.
He spoke with Tom Brown.
Right. Okay.
So it was all really beautiful. You know, I did watch the vigil online. I have kind of shied away from Elvis Week in Memphis because of the crowds or whatever. But after this year, and I think one of the callers said, there's only so many people left that actually were with Elvis, met Elvis, were friends with Elvis, like Lee Majors. You can tell they were friends. And that he loved him. And really, Elvis Week is one of the chances that you really get to come across those people that were really in his life and that loved him. So I think I'm going to take the plunge and go next year for sure. And hopefully a lot of you guys will be there too. And we can all go to Elvis Week together.
We'd love
about it.
this time next year. You can ring in and tell us all about your experiences. The first Elvis Week.
Yes.
We'd love to hear about it.
Yes, it would be wonderful. So just wanted to say thank you. It's been an emotional kind of week, but I tried. It's been 99% celebration. And like, yes, there's that 1% where, you know, you're sad, you miss him, you know, you love him so much. And like me, I had no control over when I was born, obviously, and I was a baby when he passed, and I had no chance in ever meeting him or seeing him live. So if there is a little sadness there, but overall, like the overarching feeling is celebration of what he did. What he gave us. You know, he is American history, as one of the other callers said. Anytime you refer to American history, he will be there because he influenced almost every facet of our history.
Correct.
And I love that. I absolutely love that. And for everybody to know that and appreciate that. So it's been appreciation and celebration with a tiny bit of a tear here and there because we miss him. But overall, I just hope that everyone just celebrated as best they could, because Elvis is something different to everyone. Everyone loves him for their own reasons.
Correct.
And I just hope that it just continues. So we will see, but hopefully, you know, we keep there's so many exciting things coming up, and I just hope it continues.
I couldn't have put it better myself. That was well put. Thanks, Carolina. Really, really well put.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I'll
speak to you again. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes, how well put that was. How far did I get? Speedway, yes. And then it was Charo. And in 1970, Elvis was obviously doing That's the Way It Is production, and he did dinner and midnight shows in Vegas. 1971, 72 and 73, he did Vegas shows. Hello.
Hello, Steve. It's Darren. I'm from Stoke-on-Trent, Staffordshire. Well, Dave, I have.
How are you?
You don't mind me calling you Steve?
No. Everybody calls me Steve.
Because, like I said, I haven't celebrated Elvis Week this week because I've been very ill. I've had my tooth out and I haven't been good.
That sounds painful.
It was, yes. And I haven't been out the weekend. I have watched the new Elvis documentary.
Oh, have you? What did you think?
Yes. People can hate me on Facebook. They can really hate me. But it was a bit boring.
Oh.
Because, like I say, it said about Clinton Parker sending Elvis some box sets of Christmas. And then it was... I don't know. It was a bit... It wasn't as good as... It's like when somebody does a racehorse, Steve. A racehorse, a big racehorse. And... and they build it up, and it falls flat.
Right.
I've got nothing against Steve Binder. I think he did a great job.
He did.
Yes, but it was Clinton Parker I didn't like.
Yeah.
And they said in the documentary he murdered somebody. I don't know.
Oh, well, that's been a rumor for years, of course. And Alan Nash first said that in her book, Elvis and the Colonel. So that's been around for quite a while, yeah.
Yeah. I've been watching your show tonight. It's been quite exciting. But the other bloke, you should have more fans on the Facebook, on the documentary who were there.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, people that are actually at the taping. Yeah.
Because it been made more interesting.
Yes, somebody maybe like Judy Palmer Bendewald could have been there because she's there, So and I'm surprised that it didn't have Priscilla. But then again, maybe the people that were doing it didn't even ask. Maybe they didn't ask Priscilla. I don't know. So.
No.
Okay, all right.
It was 2 hours long.
Yeah, that's right. It was 2 hours. Yeah.
Too long. Anyway, thank you very much.
All right, no problem.
Steve.
Cheers.
Bye.
All right, bye. Yeah, that's another one. Judy Palmer Bendewald was there, and I actually had Judy on the show there last year or the year before, and we spoke at length about her being there for the taping, but they didn't have Judy, whether they interviewed her or just didn't use it in the documentary or not, I don't know. It's a strange one. So so we've done 71, 72, 73. 1974, now this is an interesting one because despite the ovations on opening night, despite the reviews, all the new material was gone and the show was back to normal, back to usual, because what Elvis had done opening night 1974 is he'd shaken it all up actually, and he'd introduced a whole load of new songs, but by this day he'd gone back again just to the old reliables. So Elvis Las Vegas 74, and also we've got some backstage photographs coming up of Elvis and Jackie Wilson and Jackie Wilson's girlfriend. And those will be coming up in a second. If you'll just bear with me, because I just want to show these. 8/20/74 midnight show. Okay. Not sure who that is actually. Funny about these photographs, I always think like Elvis is sunburned. There's Jackie Wilson and his girlfriend. Elvis almost looks sunburned here, like he's had glasses on, and the sun hasn't caught him here underneath the eyes, and there he has the glasses on with Jackie Wilson. That was on this day in 1974. 1975, Charlie, bring me the request box. He did dinner and midnight Vegas shows in 75, and this was, of course, famously the engagement when he took requests. He'd hand out a champagne bucket or something like that, and well, he wouldn't, but Charlie would, and they'd put in songs that he wanted, people wanted him to sing. So that was this day in Elvis history. I would very, very much like it. Anybody new that hasn't subscribed, bottom right-hand corner, if you click the subscribe, the little picture of Elvis, subscribe and click the bell and turn it black, I would be very, very grateful. Don't forget thumbs up as well. We're trying to get 300 likes for this show. Now the Photoshop kindly supplied by Kirsty Marie, who exposes Elvis Photoshops on Instagram, and it is this one, which is Elvis and Cliff Richard. No, it's not. It's Elvis and Sal Mineo, the actor who Elvis was a big fan of Sal because he was a big fan of James Dean and a big fan of Rebel Without a Cause. And Elvis was with actor Sal Mineo on the set of Elvis's movie Loving You in early 1957. Sal had previously starred opposite James Dean in the 1955 movie Rebel Without a Cause, one of Elvis's favourite movies. Elvis was saddened to hear on the night of February 12th, 1976, Mineo was returning home from a rehearsal for the play P.S. Your Cat is Dead when he was stabbed in the heart by a mugger in the carport below his West Hollywood apartment. Mineo was found lying and bleeding profusely in the parking alley by neighbours who had heard his cries for help, but he was only able to walk a few steps, after which he collapsed and died immediately. He was just 37 years old. So that's this week's Photoshop. Elvis with Cliff Richard. No, it's Elvis with Sal Mineo. So, and if, as I say every week, if you know of any Photoshops that you don't like, send them in. And also, if you can, send in the original so that I can show them both side by side. That will help. Now, yes, I've got a song I wish Elvis had recorded. And as I said, Laurie Gelman, also known as Wally Marcel, has sent this one in. She suggested it. This is one of my favourites, she says, written by Bruce Hornsby and Chaka Khan, who you saw there a second ago. When you listen to it, does it not sound like it perfectly describes his feelings for Anne Margaret? So it's called Love Me Still by Chaka Khan. And the lyrics are, or some of the lyrics are, here is my hand for you to hold. Here's the part of me they have not sold. Yeah. I've wandered far, I've had my fill, I need you now, do you love me still? Only you have seen the hidden part of me. Call me foolhardy if you will. I loved you then, do you love me still? So many smiles and lies surround me. Empty expectations, faceless fears. Sometimes this life is a bitter pill. I love you now, do you love me still? So it's a heavy, it's a piano-heavy recording, and it's easy to imagine Elvis sitting down at the piano and singing this song on stage like he did with Unchained Melody. So there's Chaka Khan, and if you're not familiar with the song, I'll leave a link for that below, and you can listen to that and see if you agree with what Laurie says. Is he describing his feelings for Anne Margaret, and could he have recorded it? So we're nearly there to reveal the poll for Reinventing Elvis. What do you think? Good, okay, was disappointed, or haven't seen it yet? You can click on the blue banner at the top of the chat, and it'll sort of fall down for you, and you can vote. I'll leave that for another minute or two. Caption this photo. Now, the person that won this, I saw their name earlier on in the chat. I don't know if they're still in the chat, but anyway, here we go. This was the caption that you find actually on the community tab, and it is this. This is a cute one, isn't it? In Prestwick, when Elvis touched down in Prestwick in Scotland with a baby. Look at the cute look on that baby's face. And somebody said, "You got me doing what you want me, baby, what you want me to do." I'm sorry, Elvis, but Old MacDonald is the greatest thing you've ever recorded, in my opinion. Baby says, "When I'm big enough, I'm going to come over to America and see you perform." Another one says, "His name is Charlie and he would like to hand out scarves and give you water on stage. He can even hold a microphone." And there's another one that says, "Baby, hey mister, look, I can pull a funny face." And Elvis says, "You look just like my manager." But the winner is... It's actually Lily Ramos. Hello, Lily. I saw your name on the chat, and I can still see it now. So it looks like you're still watching. And Lily says, "Hi, little baby. You're smiling at me as if I'm your papa. Am I?" Yeah. No, I don't know. But anyway, there you go. Well done, Lily. So you get this. Round of applause for Lily. Well done. And look out for the caption, this photo. There won't be one this Tuesday, but there'll probably be one the following Tuesday for the 3rd of September show. Because as I said at the top of the show, I'm not here next week. I'm on vacation from tomorrow. So there'll be no show Sunday the 27th of August. But I will be announcing the winner of the Elvis Fan of the Year on the 3rd of September. Now, there's more votes coming in, so I'll leave that poll for a little bit longer. A brand new feature that you can join in with is underrated Elvis songs. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. And basically what it is if you want to send in the title of an Elvis song you think is underrated and doesn't get the recognition that it deserves, please do, and I'll pick one and we'll talk about it, and I'll feature it in this feature. I've started the ball rolling with this one, and it is "I'm Counting on You," words and music by Don Robertson. On January the 10th, 2 days after his 21st birthday, Elvis had his first recording session for RCA, held at their studio in Nashville. 3 songs were recorded that day. As you can see, "I Got a Woman," "Heartbreak Hotel," and "Money Honey." And then 2 the next day, "I'm Counting on You," and "I Was the One." Now, "I Got a Woman," "Heartbreak Hotel," "Money Honey," and "I Was the One" get a lot of recognition and a lot of airplay, if you like. I think that "I'm Counting on You" falls under the shadow of the other 4, and it is definitely the least well-known of the songs from those 2 days recording. His very first session for RCA. A few years later, Elvis invited Don to come to Radio Recorders in Hollywood to meet with him. They met and talked, and they hit it off. After the session, he invited Don to come up to his house for the evening. This was the first of many get-togethers in Hollywood, Bel Air, and Las Vegas. Elvis went on to record other Don Robertson songs during his career. So there you go. That is a song I truly believe is underrated. Definitely underrated. And "I'm Counting on You" by Don Robertson. And if you want to send in your underrated Elvis songs, you can. And I'm asking for underrated songs, photoshops, smoking hot photos, songs you wish Elvis had sung, funny caption photos, and suggest a topic for discussion. And you can send them in to Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel at gmail.com. So that's the new feature that I'm introducing, and I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people out there saying, yeah, that song is definitely underrated. I'm going to send it in to Steve. So please do. Don't be shy. Right, so let's close the poll, shall we? And then I'll give you the smoking hot photo. Now, let's have a look before. Oh, wow. End poll. There you are. 61% of you haven't even seen Reinventing Elvis yet. But however, 30% think it was good. Only 4% thought it was okay. And only 3% said they were disappointed. So thanks to everybody that voted on that. And that's the result. 61% haven't seen it. Wow. 30% thought it was good, 4% okay, and only 3% were disappointed. Thank you very, very much for voting on that. And without further ado, I have to do this smoking hot. And it is a smoking hot. Oh my goodness, it is a smoking hot. So ladies, stand by. Gents, stand by with the smelling salts for any female fans that are watching with you, because it is that one. Okay, what do you think of that? And I tell you who actually sent that in. April. Thanks very much, April, for sending that smoking hot photograph in. And 2 words spring to mind when I look at that photograph. Greek god. Those are the 2 words that spring to mind when I see that. Now, looks like a wax figure. I don't know about that, Sandra. Kirsty Marie, eyes with hearts. Oh yes, hot, hot, hot. Maria says absolutely gorgeous. I like this. Mrs. EAP, I slipped, I stumbled, I fell. Thud. Yes, Greek god and sexy. Skin is so perfect. Yeah. No words can describe how otherworldly gorgeous he truly is. Well, like I say, 2 words spring to mind when I see that photograph, and that's Greek god. It really is. What else have we got? Elvis is so handsome, it hurts. I can love me tender any day. Lily Ramos, good Lord, can Elvis be more gorgeous? Well done, by the way, Lily, for your caption. Someone cool me off, says Kathleen. Gigi agrees with me when I say Greek god. He has that come hither look. Lips are like, excuse me, lips are like marshmallows. Look at that bottom lip. Lovely and full, isn't it? I need filler in my lips to look like Elvis. Finley looks like her grandfather. Yeah, yeah. Jill, my 2 words, take me. Goodness me. He's glowing. Wally Marcel says, Laurie as well, says, I need to turn a garden hose on me. Lily says, thank you, Steve. Love your show and the fans. Yeah, well, it's a great, great community we're building here. It really is. He has an aura about him. Yes, he does. Now, I'd like to thank every single one of you who supports this show, watches on live, watches on catch-up, sends me all the things that I ask you for, like Photoshops I wish Elvis had recorded, Smoking Hot. Don't forget the brand new feature that I introduced tonight, which is underrated Elvis songs. And a big, big thank you to all the great, great callers tonight, because you definitely made the show. And that is me for 2 weeks. So don't forget, I'm not here on the 27th. I'll be here on the 3rd. And then we'll be doing the Elvis Fan of the Year. So if you've got, if your name is in the pot, make sure you watch. So take care of yourselves until I see you again. And I'm going to say, Al, take it away.
Elvis has left the building. Thank you and good night.